Well, we're back in Los Angeles. We wanted to show you something else that we found.
This is unusual.
This is an oddball thing, and this time we discovered it minutes after landing. First we discovered Lockheed, and then out in the parking lot of Lockheed we discovered, an alien attack.
Like, what happened here?
It's sort of like a science fiction museum and sort of like a store all at the same time, but it's Fry's Electronics. It seems that an Illudium-powered spacecraft from a distant galaxy has inadvertently crashed into the front of the Fry's Electronics store.
Oh dear, driver's ed failed.
Driver's ed failed. All this damage is just painted on.
Isn't that amazing?
It blew my mind. I mean, you're looking at that going, oh, they smashed the whole store. They've glued some pieces on here, but all these cracks and everything are just painted on. Hollywood set painters.
Wow.
It's amazing what they can do. But that's just paint on the surface of the cement work or whatever it is. Well, Fry's are all over the place. Apparently the first two stores they built were done to a theme, this one to science fiction.
Looks like we found the other half of the spaceship.
No kidding, it smashed right through the wall. I did a little research because I sort of recognized the space aliens that have climbed out of there. And it's like, well, they look sort of like the ones from Mars Attacks, but not exactly. Well, they are from Mars Attacks. But they're from the comic series from the 1950s, which wasn't a comic book. They were comic trading cards. And they were so graphic and violent, they were pulled off the market.
Oh, dear.
Apparently, they're winning the battle here.
It looks like it.
One of their plasma guns has done a job on this Jeep. I think Jeep collectors and fans are just crying right about now, as is that guy. He's having a bad day.
Yeah, I think so.
And his Jeep is having a bad day.
That seemed to be the thing in the 50s, these old science fiction movies.
Remember Paper Boys?
Yes, we actually had one.
long lost tradition of the Paper Boy. But they've built this replica gas station too.
Look at the pumps, how nice.
Isn't that neat? And all of this to sell television sets and major appliances.
But how fun is that?
How fun is that? I mean, it's a classic Fry's store, but it's full of stuff, homages to these old 50s science fiction films. It's almost like visiting a science fiction museum.
No kidding.
These, of course, are the giant ants from Them.
Okay.
I love that old movie, Them. And in this case, the ant is selling major appliances.
Oh, well, why not?
That's my kind of salesman. What a clever idea, though. This was such a fun movie.
Wow,
Them.
that is cool.
I don't know how they did it. They must have slung these giant ants from an overhead crane or something. When you watch the movie, clearly they're like giant marionettes or something. But I love these 50s movies. So campy and so fun.
Yes.
And so scary all at the same time. They're just wonderful. And as kids growing up with that sort of
you
thing.
thought it was real.
Oh, of course. You couldn't sleep for a week after seeing a movie like Them. Of course, they were, dare we say, graphically violent.
They were not nice.
Some guy getting eaten here. I mean, that was guaranteed to give you nightmares.
Right.
Now, back in the 1970s, when I first discovered this place, I was told that these were the actual ants from Them, which they are not. But at the time, it seemed like they were. And I'm just wondering if they did have the actual props and then they changed them at some time or other.
They may have.
This is their Lionel layout, and got the same ants here, but done to a miniature scale, O-scale ants. But they don't run the railroad, which is really sad.
No kidding.
But I'd love to see the Lionel trains going through here. I don't know. I've never seen it run, even back in the 70s. This is clearly a reference to Earth versus the Flying Saucers here.
No kidding.
Another great movie. Now here's another movie When Worlds Collide.
Oh, man.
Oh, look, I think they stole our rocket ship.
They sure did.
This was a great movie. Technicolor, too.
Wow.
And that made it so much better. The effects were just first class. They just did a really great job on this movie. I remember seeing this film when it was in the theaters. It was really fun.
This looks like another working railroad.
Yeah, it's a number 1 gauge LGB track, and it's all wired, so I guess at one time it worked. I don't know how it got through this curve.
Yeah, it's a little steep.
But it's meant to recreate this rocket railway from the original movie. In this movie, the rocket is launched horizontally, and then it suddenly veers and goes into the sky. Pretty neat the way they've done it. They haven't tried to stay too accurate to the movie. They've had a lot of fun with it. There's nothing like this anywhere in the movie, but they've had a lot of fun doing model work.
No kidding.
And it's always fun to build a model, so they just kind of went with that, I guess. If you notice, it's all wired to work, so at one time it must have gone back and forth on this track, wouldn't have gone through that curve. This one tried to go through the curve.
That would be me trying to drive a rocket.
That was a launch failure there. Or a design failure, or both. Now, over here in the computer department, we have something special.
Oh, from my mom's favorite movie.
Yeah, When the Earth Stood Still.
Oh, she loved that movie. She saw it at the movie theater.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Here again, I thought they had a real Gort costume, and maybe they did, and it was worth so much money they replaced it with this fiberglass version. I don't know. But always remember, Gort, Klaatu Barada Nikto.
You do, and you'll clean it up.
Oh, I guess so. But if you want to watch the actual movie, you come over here to the Atomic Cafe Drive-In, and they're running The Day the Earth Stood Still on a perpetual loop over here, the whole movie, and you can buy yourself a hot dog and sit in one of these 50s cars and enjoy an actual drive-in theater right here in Fry's.
Isn't that cool?
It's sort of a shame that they've torn these beautiful old 50s cars apart to turn them into eating booths or whatever you want.
Yeah, no eating in the car.
No eating in the car.
Sakes.
And check out this Harley. It was probably worth $1 when they bought it back in the 70s. Just neat stuff like... Oh!
What in the...
That was a little scary.
A little bit, yeah.
This is my high school history teacher.
Mine too.
Yeah. He always had that effect on me. He made me jump right out of my skin. And F-86s. I make them to be about a 5/8 scale. Again, I got my nose right up in there. They're all fiberglass and everything. Don't know if they built them for the place or they bought them from somewhere, but how cool is that?
Including the neon exhaust.
Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And we'll see you here on Tuesday with The Collector's Attic. Bye-bye.
Bye.